So Elon Musk got upset that his tweets weren't performing well, and he fired one of his Twitter employees. For weeks now, Elon Musk has been preoccupied with worries about how many people are seeing his tweets. Last week, the Twitter CEO took his Twitter account private for a day to test whether that might boost the size of his audience. Did you see a lot of right-wingers doing that? They were all doing that. The move came after several prominent right-wing accounts that Musk interacts with complained that recent changes to Twitter had reduced their reach. On Tuesday, Musk gathered a group of engineers and advisors into a room at Twitter's headquarters looking for answers. Why are his engagement numbers tanking? This is ridiculous, he said, according to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the meeting. I have more than 100 million followers, and I'm only getting tens of thousands of impressions. One of the company's 2 remaining principal engineers offered a possible explanation for Musk's declining reach. Just under a year after the Tesla CEO made a surprise offer to buy Twitter for $44 billion, public interest in his antics is waning. Yeah, I agree. I think this is like pretty obviously part of it is people are just fucking over it. Like the meme of it died. Like it's not even fun to dunk on the guy. He's just so fucking pathetic. Like his engagement was like getting ratioed by trans accounts with 800 followers. You know what I mean? Like getting destroyed on Twitter, just totally owned. And now people are just like, meh, fuck this guy. He sucks. And nobody wants to pay attention to him. It happens. This is why infamy is never a good thing to sell. All these people that are like, you know, I'm going to trigger. Dude, once you use your usefulness wears off, nobody on your side is going to support you, bro. Employees showed Musk internal data regarding engagement with his account, along with a Google Trends chart. Last April, they told him Musk was at peak popularity in search rankings, indicated by a score of 100. Today, he's at a score of 9. Engineers had previously investigated whether Musk's reach had somehow been artificially restricted, but found no evidence that the algorithm was biased against him. Musk did not take the news well. You're fired, Musk told the engineer. Platformer is withholding the engineer's name in light of the harassment Musk has directed at former Twitter employees. So Elon Musk, bright boy, his own company, his own Twitter account, it's not getting the engagement he wanted. Because, I mean, like, let's be real. He bought this as a vanity project. He wanted to be cool Twitter guy. He wanted everybody to like him. He wanted to be... I bet you, he said at some point, privately or thought to himself, maybe out loud, I don't know, I don't look up Elon Musk stuff. I bet he wanted to be like the Facebook guy. Was it Jack? What was that guy's name? Not the Facebook guy. Not the one before that. Why can't I even remember it? What was before Facebook, chat? You know the one. Tom? Yeah, I didn't use it. That's why I don't remember. MySpace. It's been so long. That's when GeoCities was out. Damn. Yeah, you know he was like, I want to be Tom from MySpace, but of Twitter. I want to be beloved by people. I want to be like Notch. I want to be like the Nazi that invented Minecraft. I want people to remember me, dude. I want to be a memer, but he's not. Anyway, he got mad and he fired the employees that told him. Dissatisfied with engineers' work so far, Musk has instructed employees to track how many times each of his tweets are recommended, according to one current worker. Jesus fucking Christ. This guy's fine. Instructed employees to track how many times each of his tweets are recommended. Recommended tweets. He's worried about his recommended tweets. It has now been 7 weeks since Twitter added public view counts for every tweet. Has it been that long? Fuck. At that time, Musk promised that the feature would give the world a better sense of how vibrant the platform is. Shows how much more alive Twitter is than it may seem. Over 90% of Twitter users read, but don't tweet, reply, or like, as those are public actions, he tweeted. Why do we give a fuck? Why do we give a fuck what the numbers look like? What? Who gives a shit? Like... people don't use Twitter all the time for the reason that Elon Musk does, which is to huff his own fucking farts, bro. Some people huff farts. All of us have probably huffed our own fart from time to time. I mean, I've never been wrong about anything. Don't look it up. But also, like, if you're an owner of Twitter, wouldn't you just want people to use Twitter exactly how they've always been using it because it's obviously worked? Why would you want to change the experience of the people using it? Like, let's just talk about this from a user of Twitter perspective, which I do use it. If I'm only interested in using the fucking app, which I'm not, but if I'm only interested in using the app, even from that standpoint, it's just an abject failure, dude. Like, it doesn't work. All day yesterday, or today, while the NBA trade deadline, which you don't care about, but I do, the NBA trade deadline stopped at 3 p.m. earlier today. And what the trade deadline is a lot of players get traded in the sport. Anyway, it's the last day you can trade players in the season, so it happens a lot at the end. So, I was on my phone watching Twitter and reading my sports writers and just interested in the stuff, talking with my boys in the group chat and enjoying sort of enjoying. I was really frustrated with myself. I didn't do anything fucking today because it was morning time and it rained all day and there's just nothing to do. I mean, except like chores that I didn't want to do. And I felt annoyed. But anyway, sports ball, woo! Anyway, I was trying to do that. Just using the app on my phone, just today. This is just today's complaint. The timeline, like, fucking resets and I'm back to like the bottom and I gotta scroll all the way back up to the top to see new tweets because it seems to want to cache like the place I loaded it first, like the most recent time I loaded it in the app. It'll go back down to that fucking part of the timeline. I don't know, it's so weird. And then like it was double tweeting for a while, people were double liking for a while. I mean, the whole app's fucking shit. And then just recently they put out a thing saying that like non-Twitter Blue members are going to have like limited tweets, DMs. They can only upload like a one piece of media a day or something. It's like, don't kill the site, bro. You can do it. The site will be killed overnight. No one's paying him $5 for unlimited fucking uploads to Twitter. It's just not happening. Like, I'm not. Fuck that. I'll just use it less. I don't care. And so will everybody else. Everybody else will be like, damn, I guess I just haven't need an excuse to use Twitter less. No problem. Shows how much more alive Twitter is, he says. Almost 2 months later, though, view counts have had the opposite effect, emphasizing how little engagement most posts get relative to their audience size. At the same time, Twitter usage in the United States has declined almost 9% since Musk's takeover. That's a lot. Twitter sources say the view count feature itself may be contributing to the decline in engagement, and therefore views. The like and retweet buttons were made smaller to accommodate the display of views, making them harder to easily tap. Also true. It's such a funny thing to explain to a billionaire why his app sucks. And it's like super normal stuff that you never would change in the first place. Just a weird guy. An even more obvious reason for the decline in engagement is Twitter's increasingly glitchy product, there we go, which has baffled users with its disappearing mentions, shifting algorithmic priorities, and tweets inserted seemingly at random from accounts they don't follow. On Wednesday, the company suffered one of its first major outages since Musk took over, with users being told inexplicably, you are over the daily limit for sending tweets. That's right. They tried to roll out that new feature. I saw Anthony Fantano had this happen. Turns out that an employee had inadvertently deleted data for an internal service that sets rate limits for using Twitter. The team that worked on that service left the company in November. As the adage goes, you ship your org chart. What? You ship your org chart? Is that an adage? Okay. Said one current employee, it's chaos here right now, so we're shipping chaos. All right. Interviews with current Twitter employees paint a picture of deeply troubled workplace where Musk's whim-based approach to product management leaves workers scrambling to implement new features even as the core service falls apart. The disarray makes it less likely that Musk will ever recoup the $44 billion he spent to buy Twitter, and he may hasten its decline into insolvency. We haven't seen much in the way of longer-term cogent strategy, one employee said. Most of our time is dedicated to 3 main areas: putting out fires, mostly caused by firing the wrong people and trying to recover from that, performing impossible tasks, and improving efficiency without clear guidelines of what the expected end results are. We mostly move from dumpster fire to dumpster fire, from my perspective. You don't say. Musk's product feedback, which comes largely from replies to his tweets, often baffles his workers. This is great. There's times he's just awake at night, late at night, and says all sorts of things that don't make sense, one employee said. And then he'll come up to us and be like, this one person says they can't do this one thing on the platform. And then we have to run around chasing some outlier use case for one person. It doesn't make any sense. The San Francisco headquarters, whose landlord has sued Twitter for non-payment of rent, has a melancholy air. When people pass each other in the halls, we're told that the standard greeting is, where are you interviewing and where do you have offers? The 8th floor is still stocked with beds, and employees have to reserve them in advance. Most weeknights are fully booked, another current employee said. The perks that made Twitter an attractive place to work pre-Musk have been eradicated. Food at the office sucks, and now we have to pay for it. And I know this sounds petty, but they appear to have obtained the absolute worst coffee vendors on earth. He can't do anything right. None of it. Slack, once the epicenter of Twitter's open culture where employees discussed anything and everything, has gone dormant. One current employee described it as a ghost town. People don't even chat about work things anymore. It's just heartbreaking. I have more conversation with my colleagues on Signal and WhatsApp than I do on Slack. Before the transition, it was not uncommon on the team channel to talk about what everybody did that weekend. There's none of that anymore. Wow, that sounds like a decent work environment. When Musk or the goons ask questions, employees are torn between giving the right answer and the safe answer. When you're asked a question, you run it through your head and say, what is the least fireable response I can have to this right now? One employee explained. It's robber baron mentality, bro. It was never going to work. Of course, that's not true for everyone in the company. There are a handful of true believers that are obviously just ass-kissers and brown-nosers who are trying to take advantage of the clear vacuum that exists, the same employee states. Despite the turmoil, remaining employees say that what they call Twitter 2.0 has managed to improve on its predecessor in at least some ways. In the past, Twitter operated too often by committees that went nowhere, one employee said. I do appreciate the fact that if you want to do something that you think will improve something, you generally have license to do it, but that's a double-edged sword. Moving that fast can lead to unintended consequences. The employee cited the disastrous relaunch of Twitter Blue, which resulted in brands being impersonated and dozens of top advertisers fleeing the platform. If Elon can learn how to put a bit more thought into some of the decisions and fire from the hip a bit less, it might do some good, the employee said. He needs to learn the areas where he just does not know things and let those that do know take over. Holy shit. He needs to learn the areas where he just does not know things and let those that do know take over. What a classic issue with conservative losers, bro. A classic issue. They absolutely have no understanding of expertise. It's all Dunning-Kruger shit, bro. These people are narcissists. He's a narcissist. He just thought he could have it because he's rich. He thought he could have a thing. I'm so glad that he's openly one of the lolliest lol cows there are. Like, he's such a fail son, bro. Does his dad love him? They have a good relationship. I've never looked in. Did the Musks have beef? At the same time, he really doesn't like to believe that there's anything in technology that he doesn't know, and that's frustrating. You can't be the smartest person in the room about everything all the time. With Musk continuing, he's exactly who we think he is. With Musk continuing to fire people impulsively, entire teams have been wiped out, and their work is being handed to the other overstretched teams that often have little understanding of the new work that is being assigned to them. They have to become code archaeologists to dig through the repo and figure out what's going on, one employee said. I've seen the Twitter employees tweet about that while it was happening. They're like, we don't have any fucking organization here. His dad seriously injured Elon by pushing him down the stairs. They mutually hate each other. His dad is also shit that. Is that true? He seriously injured Elon? what a shitty guy. Meanwhile, a recent wave of layoffs in the tech industry have contributed to a feeling of paralysis among those who remain at Twitter. I do think the recent vibe overall in tech and fear of not being able to find something else is the primary factor for most folks. I know for a fact that most of my team is doing hardcore interview prep and would jump at likely any opportunity to walk away. There's also a sense of unease about how recent changes will be reviewed by regulators. As part of an agreement with the Federal Trade Commission, Twitter committed to following a series of steps before pushing out changes, including creating a project proposal and conducting security and privacy reviews. Since Musk took over, those steps have become an afterthought. His stance is basically, fuck your regulators, we're told. He's been like that forever, though. It's not just the FTC. He's been at with the the FEC? Is that the one? Federal Election Commission? No. What was the other one? It wasn't just the FCC. Yeah, it was the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, I believe. Could be wrong. His dad also did an incest with his stepdaughter? Elon's dad sucks? Wow, I'm shocked. Definitely the FTC, though. Anyway, the FTC plans to audit the company this quarter, we're told. Oh, fuck, this quarter? That's soon. We only got one more month. We're told, and employees have doubts that Twitter has the necessary documentation in place to pass inspection. FTC compliance is concerning, one says. Last year, before Musk took over, the FTC fined Twitter $150 million for breaking its agreement. Another breach would almost certainly result in millions of dollars in additional fines and a flurry of news coverage. Just the thing, perhaps, to get the views on Musk's tweets trending up again. How long do you think it'll last?
It's cold.
Thank you, Lucid. Thanks for the follow. How long do you think Elon Musk's Twitter experience will last? Is this an AI thing, by the way? Looks like AI. AI Elon Musk. Elon Musk's father, Errol Musk, who is 76 years old, has admitted to having a secret second child with his 35-year-old stepdaughter. What the fuck? Gone by the end of the year? I don't know if it's gone. I think Twitter is going to exist for a while. But I don't think Elon Musk is going to be involved. I think it's going to get sold. I don't know how... let's look that up. Can Elon sell Twitter? How does that even work? He just has to sell his stock, I assume? Yeah. He sold Tesla stock to fund more Twitter 3 days ago. Yeah, I don't think this is sustainable. It's just losing money, which is fantastic. I love the idea of him having, like, a sinkhole where his money just dies. You know what I mean? And technically, if a lot of it goes through... Does it just melt into the sea? Twitter is going to exist until there's an actual alternative that's popular. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, there are some alternatives. I think someone will just take Twitter or the idea of it and make it work. I don't think he will live forever. I think maybe Elon is not... How old is Elon? He's in his 50s, right? Elon Musk. He is 51 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
It has the juice?
Sing a Reaper. He sold fake money to pay fake money. That's true.